Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Easy Tramster here. So I'm out in Goodyear, Arizona. I'm at Roadrunner Harley-Davidson, and I am meeting up with Rob to do another bike versus bike video. We've got a 2020 Softail Slim versus a 2020 Softail Fat Boy. Now, a few things. This video is being put together by request of one of my loyal subscribers. Thank you, by the way. Also, I own a Slim. I own a 2019 Slim, and I really love the look of the Fat Boy. I've never actually ridden one myself. Rob has, so he has a lot of insight to give comparatively about the bikes. And what I'll do is I'll share with y'all kind of what I like about each of them, since I own the Slim and since I've definitely considered the Fat Boy. Why don't we head in and see what's up? All right, so apparently Rob has these set up in service, and so we're gonna take a look and see what's going on. In the meantime, here's some of the specs that we'll be talking about today that we're gonna touch on. He highlighted some of the more important stuff. I mean, they're all important, but some of the bigger stuff. Yep. Hey, man.
Good.
All right, look at these beauties. Oh, we even got similar colors. Nice. Fantastic. Well, without delay, guys, I'm going to hand this over to Rob. Yeah, and we'll get down on this stuff, and he'll tell you all about these bikes.
All right, guys, so this was a special request, a comparison between the Fat Boy and the Slim. So Bryce asked me to set these up, maybe talk about them a little bit. We'll give you some information and make a little comparison here for you. Obviously, first and foremost, the names are pretty obvious. One is the Fat Boy, the other is the Slim. So the bike on the right is a 2020 FL-FBS Fat Boy with the 114 motor. Bike on the left is a 2020 FL-SL Slim with the 107 motor. So obviously there's a little difference there, and that is the only configuration these two bikes are available in this year. So previously you could get the Fat Boy in either. This year it's 114 only. So take a look at the bikes. You'll notice some similarities. You'll notice some differences right off the bat. So let's talk about a couple things that are similar. The Slim really is kind of the little brother to the Fat Boy. You see the two sitting here, you can tell there are some definite similarities. Look at your forks, look at your cowbells, some of that kind of stuff. The Slim really is just the smaller version, so to speak, of the Fat Boy. Now, Fat Boy is a classic motorcycle. It's been around forever. Ever since Arnold jumped one off a bridge, everybody wants to own one. It was wildly popular for Harley for many, many years. One of the chief complaints about the Fat Boy actually is the wheels. The Fat Boys have always had a solid wheel design. For a couple years, they ran it slotted or with some small holes in it. And guys say, oh, the wind's going to blow you all over the place. It's terrible. Well, let me tell you something, guys. We're talking about physics. When that wheel right there on that Slim is spinning at 75 miles an hour, it's solid. Nothing's getting between those spokes either. My first personal Harley-Davidson was a 2007 Fat Boy I purchased while living in northern Japan. And I rode through some pretty intense winds, typhoon weather, that sort of thing, and it wasn't something that blew me all over the place. So me personally, I'm not going to say spoked wheels better or solid wheels better. Go with what you dig. It is what's available on those bikes, and obviously both can be changed out through parts and accessories. Another key difference between the two of them, obviously, is the rear end of the bike. So you're going to see a picture there in a bit comparing both the Fat Boy to the Slim. The Fat Boy has a large 240 rear wheel, whereas the Slim has the narrower 150. It's running the same wheels front and rear because it is a traditional bobber type design. I'm going to go over some stats with you guys, some general information that may help you if you're making a decision between the two. Overall length of the bikes, the Fat Boy's coming in at 93.3 inches while the Slim is 90.9. So you do get a slight advantage in having a shorter overall motorcycle in terms of maneuverability, but in having a longer motorcycle you do have a slight advantage maybe in comfort or long distance type riding. Wheelbase on the two is very close. We're at 64.2 inches on the Slim and 65.6 on the Fat Boy. Again, a little shorter wheelbase means a little better maneuverability, while a little longer wheelbase might make a little more comfortable ride. Ground clearance, this is a shocker for most people. Ground clearance on the Slim is 4.7 inches. It's actually less on the Fat Boy at 4.5. So we got Bryce here sitting on the Slim now. You guys know he owns one of these. He's a big fan of these. Pretty easy bike for him to flat foot. While you do have the advantageous 4.7 inch ground clearance, you also have an advantage in seat height being lower at 25.5 inches. So for real tall guys like Bryce, who claims to be 5'5", but he's really about 4'11", this bike works really well. So if we go over to the Fat Boy now, we mentioned that it has a little less ground clearance at 4.5 inches, but the seat height is actually taller by about a half inch at 25.9. Again, he can sit on this bike pretty comfortably. In a pair of real boots, he can flat foot it, no problem. So you get somebody around 5.5 feet, either one of these bikes is going to work pretty well. We also mentioned that you have 2 different motor sizes. We said the Fat Boy comes in the 114. It gives you 119 foot-pounds of torque from the factory, while the 107 gets you about 110. So you're looking at about a 9 foot-pound advantage. A lot of people are like, well, that's not much, but you're talking about machines that only weigh in the neighborhood of 600 and 700 pounds. Okay? So there is a slight advantage in torque on the 114 motor. Harley doesn't like to publish their horsepower numbers, but the reality is you are going to get more horsepower out of the 114 as well. I can tell you, you do feel the difference between a Milwaukee 8 107 and 114, especially at the higher ends, highway speeds, passing, other vehicles, that kind of thing. Talking about the weight of these vehicles, the Fat Boy comes in at 699 pounds. Now, Bryce assumed that there was a big difference between the Fat Boy and the Slim. 671 pounds. So it's really not that big a difference. I'll tell you that 20 pounds feels like a whole lot more when you're pushing up a 240 rear tire versus a 150 rear tire. That's really where the difference comes from. Another small advantage I would give to the Fat Boy is you do have your preload adjustment located on the outside of the motorcycle. So you can make any adjustments you need to adjust for your ride, for passengers, cargo, etc. Whereas on the Slim, you do have to remove the seat and you are required to use a tool to get that done. Some of the other things that are similar, they both are running a 5-gallon tank. They're both getting about 47 miles per gallon in their stock configuration. Obviously, if you go to a stage 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, or you change your tune or any of those things, it's going to impact your fuel economy as your performance as well. Lean angles. We told you that the Slim actually is taller. So in many cases, that means better lean angle. Not here. Even though the Fat Boy has that large 240 rear tire, it actually has a lean angle of 25.6 degrees. So it's almost a degree better than the Slim at 27.4. So you can get it a little lower to the ground. Yes, you got to muscle it over. People got offended when I said that about the breakout. But you do have to push a little bit more to get over on that great big rear tire. So you take a look at, guys, the Slim obviously is a classic bobber style. The Fat Boy's been around for decades. It has been modernized a little bit. Some people, again, like the Fat Bob. This headlight nacelle was a little polarizing for some. I personally like it. I don't have any problem with it. I don't think it takes anything away from the motorcycle. It's great that they both have upgraded lighting as well. Excellent bikes, similar suspension, similar motor, similar transmission. It really comes down to your styling and what you want. I would give the advantage to the Fat Boy for a little bit longer, more comfortable ride, while I would give the advantage to the Slim for a little bit more maneuverable ride. A couple more thoughts for everybody before I turn this thing over. I mentioned that the Fat Boy was my first Harley-Davidson purchased in northern Japan. They'll always have a special spot in my heart for them. I love them to death. I actually appreciate the design changes to the new Fat Boy. You can look at it and very clearly tell that that's what the model is, but it has been modernized. It does have a better motor, a better transmission, better suspension than its predecessors. I'm also a huge fan of the Softail Slim. It does have that classic bobber look, and even though it was updated a little bit when the new M8 motor came out as well, I have seen some very, very awesome examples of these toned down, stripped down, and made to look just like bobbers from 75 years ago. So that is my comparison of the Fat Boy Slim. I'll leave it up to you guys to decide which one is your weapon of choice, and I'll get things turned back to Bryce for his thoughts.
If I may, just kind of pondering the time that after I bought my Slim, and then that remember that root beer colored one that came out in this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I just absolutely love the brushed accents on
Sure.
the Fat Boy. It is. I'm not a shiny. I don't typically like shiny stuff, but this is done extremely well. Very well thought out, and I mean, it just looks good in any color. What color is this, by the way?
Stiletto Red. So there were 2 limited colors this year, Stiletto Red and Tahitian Teal. So there is a small upcharge for that versus, say, the Billiard Red that's on the Slim here next to it. But it is Stiletto Red. The graphic in it is fantastic.
Yeah, it looks incredible. I do like the Billiard colors, though. Mine's the Billiard Blue, which I love. And if there was any other color, I'd get the Slim, and it'd be this one. It's another Billiard color, because I think the black against it. But I also think the color that this is with those brushed accents is just absolutely gorgeous.
Well, and you know, that was another change in the Fat Boy that was polarizing for a lot of people, are those brushed accents. A lot of the old heads are chrome, chrome, chrome. Everything has to be chrome, and everything has to be glossy and black. And this bike has, to me, a perfect balance of chrome, the brushed look, and the gloss black. It really balances everything out well, and it would allow somebody to either upgrade chrome, or upgrade brushed features, or upgrade blacked out features, and they'd be able to improve the bike without really ruining anything. And you could do a little of each, or a little of one or the other.
Right. Yeah, having the performance motorcycle background I have with sport bikes and track riding, I absolutely appreciate the preload being very easily accessible. This one under the seat is not a huge deal because it's just a single bolt and spanner wrench, but having it on the fly is very, very convenient. Putting the passenger seat and the pegs on my bike was after the fact, after I bought it. This one comes ready with it. I don't ride a passenger very often, but it's a good look. It doesn't necessarily ruin the look of the bike by having these things on, and the fact that it comes with it is extremely convenient.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, those upgrades, not just the motor, but some of those other things, you are looking at a couple $1,000 difference between a Slim and a Fat Boy. But the truth is, the difference in motor alone is worth more than that. So then on top of that, you get the easy preload adjustment. It comes with your pegs. It comes with your passenger seat. So paying a little bit more to get more, it really is pretty reasonable.
Yeah, both are absolutely gorgeous bikes. I'm honestly standing here right now thinking I wouldn't know which one to pick. I have a Slim, I get it, I love it, and you know, that's the best bike I've had in my opinion, all the bikes I've had. But standing here, I would have a very, very, very difficult time choosing between these two. Well, guys, there it is. We covered a lot, and I appreciate you hanging out and watching. I really enjoyed making this video. I love both of these bikes a lot. They're gorgeous, and Rob and all of his knowledge goes a long way for folks trying to understand the differences and maybe not knowing which one is going to be the best bike for them. So hopefully this helps you out with that. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you do and you're looking through these videos, you know we've done a ton of these and there's more to come. So we'll keep doing it. Like the video, and as always guys, stay safe out there.